Well, welcome back, everyone. We'd like to welcome every single one of you back here on Zachary's Journey. If you're new here, or even if you've tuned in before, welcome. We're glad to have you back again. If you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And today we have a hefty conversation, real deep, but real transparent and vulnerable conversation planned for everyone. But before we get into that, Zachary, how are you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing good, man. How was your day?
My day was good. How was yours?
Good, good, good. Did you keep cool? Because I know it's like blistering. Well, not even blistering. It's like melting hot outside.
Yeah. Hmm. I like eating ice cream, but I feel like I'm being turned into an ice cream.
Yeah. What's your favorite? What before we get into the conversation? What's your favorite flavor, if I might ask?
But vanilla.
French vanilla. That's a good flavor, man. Good flavor. All right. So today's conversation is going to be circled around um obviously Zachary is one who is very motivational and inspirational. Um but as a human and even myself, I can tend to fall into a place where I don't necessarily feel like being inspirational. I don't feel like being motivational. So Zachary, like people know you as someone who's inspiring. They see your accomplishments, your resilience, your attitude.
Mm.
But I don't know if people ever stop to ask, do you always want to be inspirational?
Funny that you say that because some days I'm like, uh, don't even want to do
What was that?
it.
I'm
But
I'm
what
sorry, I didn't hear you.
I don't eat, I don't want to be motivational.
Okay.
But I, I remind myself who I'm doing it for.
Okay. Okay.
And when I get like that, I say to myself, you might not be wanting to do a motivational speech or talk, but look at the people that look up to you.
Right.
And I tend to remind myself, yes, I don't want to be motivational, but it's important to always have in the back of my mind who I'm doing the motivational speaking for.
Right. 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 Right.
So I use that as fuel to keep going.
Right. Um, do you do you ever feel like people expect you to always have a positive attitude?
No, but I feel like people know me as an inspirational speaker. So that is the only thing that I feel like they expect from me in a public speech.
Got it. How about like days? Like, do you ever feel like there are days where you just want to be left alone?
Yeah, yeah, but I'm so driven to help other people, so I'm like finding myself even on my days off helping other people.
Right. How do you get yourself out of that funk? Like when in the moments that you do feel like you're not wanting to be inspirational, or maybe like in the moments where you just feel like being left alone, how do you how do you find yourself getting out of that funk?
somebody who wants who I look up to on
Mhm.
social media and in person and even on a personal level. His name is Chris Singleton. He lost his mother to murder in 2015.
Right.
Whenever I feel not motivated, I remind myself what Chris is doing. Because for people who don't know, I started public speaking because my friend Carlos.
Right.
So Chris lost his mother, and I feel like me and Chris had a lot of similarities. So sometimes when I don't feel motivational, I watch Chris content. And he even told me sometimes when he doesn't feel motivational, he watches my content. So we help each other in that way.
Right. 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 That's pretty cool, man. I think that's important, that you found someone who in many ways fuels you, right? Like that gives you that added boost, because every so often, we kind of need that. We kind of need that as people who have platforms and everything like that. We don't always feel 110%. So I feel like having those people to kind of like lean on is important, and it's essential. um, have you ever thought to yourself, listen, I'm just tired of being everyone's inspiration? Has that thought ever crossed
No,
your mind?
no,
No?
no.
Okay. I've talked to people who've had that thought. And if I'm honest, there's been moments where I've had that thought, um, where I found myself, just fatigued. And it's not because I'm necessarily tired of being people's inspiration. I think it's more or less because I have a lot going on, and I just in that moment I feel overwhelmed. So yeah. Um, what does a bad day look like for Zachary?
I'm sorry. Before I answer your question, I have a question for you.
Right. Go ahead. Shoot.
You said you tend to feel like that. So what do you do when you feel like that?
Good question. So I have two answers. One answer is when I was a lot younger, uh, and before I starting getting better and a little bit more aware about my emotions. Um, I didn't necessarily handle that well. So in those moments, I would stay in those moments very long time, sometimes for days, and just because I was just I found myself in a funk. The older Anthony, the one that you're speaking to now, um, has found a better way, as far as like handling that, right? So what I'm still working, right, and I'm still not perfect at it, but in those moments, I've learned to kind of come outside myself, if that makes sense, like almost like think outside of myself and not allow my emotions to dictate my response, or to dictate how I move forward. And I feel like that in itself is problematic to a lot of people, because a lot of people are emotion driven as opposed to being, uh, I guess, more or less regulated. And that's what we call a regulated nervous system, where you're not necessarily triggered easily, or you're not moved easily. You're more so balanced, where you can look at something and say, all right, I'm not going to respond negatively. I'm going to take a deep breath, and I'm going to respond to move forward. So now, even when I find myself thinking negatively, or if I find myself in a bit of a funk, I start trying to trace what's making me feel this way. One, and then trying to get to the root of that and address it, and then respond to those feelings differently. It's a bit of a process, and obviously for me, it's taken a lot of practice. And again, I've not arrived, so please don't think I've arrived. But I'm still learning. But it's something that I'm still practicing.
Yeah. When when did you catch yourself actually doing that?
When did I catch myself actually doing what?
Going into negative spiral.
Um, I would find myself going into negative spirals when I was maybe when I was tasked with a lot on my plate, maybe in moments where I was really busy and I just felt overwhelmed. So I would start finding myself getting into this little bit of a pattern where I almost felt like I was drowning. So any little thing would trigger me to kind of go, negative. Um,
So
and that
basically,
was what was that?
so basically, you don't like to be under pressure.
Before I didn't. Before I didn't really handle pressure very well, to be honest. Now I can honestly say that I've been a lot better with pressure. I've been a lot better with pressure. I think now I've learned to embrace pressure only because I've found that every time I've been put into pressure, even in the moments that I may have, not been the most positive person, I found on the opposite side or at the ends, looking in hindsight, that those pressure moments made me a better person. It either taught me a lesson or it just made me stronger or it made me become aware of how much I can actually accomplish. So yeah, those pressure moments back then, man, they used to crush me, man. I'm not even I can't even lie. They used to take a toll on me. Um, but yeah, now I could say that I'm a lot better with pressure. How about you? What does pressure look like for you? Like when you have pressure on your shoulders, how do you respond to those things?
Um, uh, now, I'm like, remember to take it slow and take a deep breath and remind myself it's okay to get it done. Don't hyperventilate yourself because when you hyperventilate yourself, you're actually making it worse.
Right.
And when you stay calm and collected, you are thinking of the task you do in something that helps me through pressure is music. So you will find me when I'm working a lot listening to music
Right.
because I I'm now distracted on the song instead of the task at hand.
Right. Right. Is there a specific either genre or specific song that you listen to in these moments?
No, I just built a playlist that
Hmm.
is specifically says my feel good music.
Right.
So whenever I go through my difficult moment, I just do what I gotta do and play my feel good music and just get busy working.
Right. 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 Wow, man. That's that's good principle, and that's I think something that people, even the people that are watching this, can apply. Find find something to help you, and it could be anything. It could be music. It could be, venting. It could be talking to someone, whatever that might be. Even I found, I found for me, whenever I've felt, that I was either under pressure or I felt like I was about to, you know, I guess getting into one of my negative, I guess, um, habits. I I sit for a second and practice breathing.
Is there a day where you be like, oh, you have to be a mentor today, but you don't feel like being a mentor today?
That's happened. That's happened a few times. Um, and I quickly try to, in those moments, I quickly tried to look at the bigger picture, because mentoring has more to do with the other person than it does yourself. Um, and I tend to, in those moments, I tend to try to think of the other person, and that actually switches my mood. When I start thinking of the person I'm about to mentor, it switches my mood, because I'm like, oh man, now you know what? The perspective changes. My task, even the mission changes in my mind, because now it doesn't just, it's not just one of those things where, oh man, I'm this is just another task for me to do. No, this is actually me investing time into another person.
Did you ever catch yourself being angry in a session, and after the session, you were like, man, why did I do that session like that? I could have did this session differently. Did you ever feel like that?
No, not in a session per se, but I think it's happened, throughout my life. There's been definitely moments where I've gotten angry and I've said either something that I shouldn't have said, or I was in the middle of a task or at home or something like that, and something triggered me, and I got maybe a little snappy with either my wife or family, whatever. That's happened. That's happened. I can't say that that's specifically happened with a mentoring, in a mentoring session. Because usually I'm pretty good, to be honest. I'm pretty good at separating the two. When it comes to mentoring and everything like that, I'm pretty good with separating my personal life with what I'm doing. And I've done the same thing, even, very well that I volunteer at my church and everything like that. So I've done the same thing there. I don't necessarily carry those things home, into my places of service or whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah. Um, you mentioned you mentioned Chris as someone who inspires you.
Yep.
What has inspired you most about Chris?
The fact that um he is he he lost his mother, but the fact that he lost his mother, he still keep on pushing,
Right,
and especially in today's society,
right,
he is a African American man, so I feel like he has a target on his back for being an African American man, especially as a public speaker now.
right, right.
I'm
Um,
actually scared for him when he does his speeches.
and why is that?
Why is that? Because I there's a lot of people that are negative, people that might might do something that they will regret, and break my heart if I ever find out Chris has been murdered,
Right.
and I do not want it.
Right.
And being a black African American man, it scares me for him.
Right. Right. Yeah, man. As someone who is married to uh, a black woman, um, I can say that there are moments where I am concerned, especially with how society is going and things that you see around the world. That is, disheartening to say the least. Um, and I'd be lying if if I sat here and said that none of those things ever crossed my mind when it comes to my wife, or even if the Lord blesses us with a child, that those things wouldn't cross my mind or don't cross my mind rather. Um, they are definitely concerning. So I can understand your sentiment there with Chris. Um, yeah, because these things are unfortunately in today's time, those things are not necessarily far fetched. It's a lot of people either being hurt or being killed in today's society. So yeah, I'm with you there. When you're discouraged, in the moments that you feel discouraged, where do you go?
You know, I just I don't go anywhere, but I look at pictures of girls and pictures of my friends who have passed on. That keeps me going. It's not where I go, but I always have a picture of people that are very close to me
Right.
that I can just look at it anytime I need to. Like,
Right.
and just looking at those pictures, I'm like, okay, I'm done being sad, I'm done being discouraged. Now it's time for me to continue shining
Right.
and continue doing not only my mission, but me and Carlos's mission. But for people who don't know, Carlos encouraged me to do public speaking. And if you guys haven't already, I encourage you to look at my new book, Zachary
Yes.
and Carlos.
Yes. I like the plug there. That was pretty cool. Yeah, that book, man, is an amazing book, and as we've mentioned, that book is something that is worth being proud over. So, yes, for those watching, go ahead and make sure you check out that book. It's definitely on Amazon. I think Zachary he'll put a link to the book in the description, and that way you guys can go and get some access to that book, man. I definitely recommend. It's a must read. Um, if you weren't inspiring anyone, let's say you weren't inspiring anyone, who would you still be?
I will still be at I will still be my normal self. I like karaoke, I like traveling, I like volunteering, I like to keep myself busy. And you 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 could find being inspiring not only in public speaking but other aspects as well.
Right. Here's a very human question. What either makes you angry or what frustrates you? And this could be anything.
What frustrates me is I had a best friend and he had a cousin who is was working for Gangsta, but the cousin has a disability,
Right.
so the cousin needs more accommodation, and the cousin does not like loud noises, so sometimes she wears headphones to
Right.
noise canceling out the noise. And when she gets overstimulated, it, it doesn't work out. She has to leave.
Right.
And she told me that this past week that she got let go from her job just by having a disability.
Wow.
So that pisses me off. And that makes me wanna keep doing what I'm doing because my target is disabled individuals, and
Right.
because I'm a disabled individual myself, so I deeply feel like it is not my mission, but it's my purpose to keep inspiring the disabled community and also educate the able-bodied community.
Right. 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 Right.
So even days where I don't want to, I look at her, my my friend's cousin. I look at Chris. I look at you. I look at Carlos, and I remind myself why I got into this in the first place.
Right. Right. Do you is
And
there
sometimes when I don't feel like doing it, I say to myself, "Don't do it for yourself, but do it for them. If you
right.
do it for them, anything, a- anything is possible." So
Right. Um is there anything that makes you doubt yourself at times?
my speech impediment,
And how do you overcome that doubt?
then by just doing it
Right.
and, and just do it. And I know that easier said than done, but you're never gonna find out how to overcome something if you just do it. I'll give you an example.
Right.
I, when my friend Carlos passed away,
Mhm.
I wanted to commit suicide. I really did. I didn't want to be here anymore. I just wanted to say, you know what, throw everything away. But then I was like, what would Carlos do in that moment? What would Carlos do if I passed away? What
Right.
would Carlos do if the, the tables were turned? Let's say I passed away. And I feel like he would have continued his public speaking doubt, his, his disbelief or whatever. He might
Right.
miss me, yes, but he will continue his public speaking. So I say, you know what? I'll do it.
Right.
But it took me months to get back into.
Right.
and I was giving speeches after he passed, but it it took me 3 weeks to finally realize that I want to do this full time. I want to do this for me, not for Carlos. Now it's time for me to pick my story, and that's how Zachary's journey came along.
Right. Right. I mean,
I'm sorry if it's so deep.
no, no, no. This I love this. You know, I think also it gives our listeners here an opportunity to see you at a different light. So I love it. I love the detail that you're going into. You know, I know I know everyone tells you or comments about how inspirational you are. Um, but when was the last time someone simply asked, "How are you doing?"
Mm, I can't remember. Mm, I can't remember because um people know me as a public figure, and I'm like other other than my friends and family, they ask me how I'm doing every day. But other friends, not not. I'm always the one checking on other people. It's very rare that people check on me,
Right,
and sometimes I wish it was the other way around.
right. Tell me a little bit more about that,
What about what?
about what you just said. How you feel like you wish that it was a little bit more. It was it was the other way around.
I mean, sometimes I'm like, I always check on other people, but
Right,
it's like I'm like I'm always checking on them whether they willing to check on me. I'm not always wanting people to check on me, but I'm like I'm always doing it, so I would like to receive it in return.
right. And
It's,
when you don't get it, how does that make you feel overall?
I have no feeling against it because people uh, like me all the time. I tend to focus on what I'm doing, what what I am, what my mission is. For
Right,
some days, tend to forget to do it myself.
right,
I'm like, oh shit, I haven't talked to this person in a while. Let me check and see how they're doing. So I I take full responsibility because I do it too.
right, 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 right. Um, I'll ask you something just a little off topic. Uh, so people get to know you a little bit more. What's something people would be surprised to know about you?
I like I would like to go skydiving,
Skydive. Yeah, buddy. I love that.
and
Skydiving.
I also want to swim with sharks.
You also don't you want what?
I want to swim with the sharks.
Swim with the sharks. You are daring, my friend. You are very daring. That I won't do, but I have done skydiving twice. And I must say, there's not a lot of things that are like it.
or bungee jumping.
Bungee jumping, I would like to do too. Oh yeah, bungee. Yeah, the only thing with bungee jumping is that you're hanging by a cord, and that's the only thing that worries me is that cord. How sustainable is that cord?
Or zip lining.
Zip lining, I've never done, but I wouldn't mind doing that.
Um.
What's your favorite thing to do when nobody's watching?
Oh God. Um. Thing.
Saying you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, you are into music, so it doesn't really that doesn't surprise me. What is something what is something you are currently afraid of?
Mm. This is how we joke. The next question Anthony's gonna ask me.
What was that?
The next question Anthony's gonna ask me.
Oh, yeah, yeah. You could just you don't know. I'm gonna ask you. That's funny. Um, what do you have a pet peeve?
Bullying.
What was that?
I hate
Oh,
bullying.
oh, bullying.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hate bullying too. I think bullying kind of well, it doesn't kind of. It's very bad. It sucks. What's a dream you haven't told anyone yet?
I'm gonna go to the Philippines.
To the Philippines?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have friends down there?
Yes.
Okay. Philippines. You know what? I wouldn't mind visiting Philippines. I always said I wanted to visit the Philippines, like China, Japan, all that stuff. Um, one, I love Chinese food. I love Japanese food, and I love Filipino food.
I
Top
know.
notch, man.
I know a little bit of Tagalog.
You know a little bit of what?
Tagalog.
What's that?
Their native language.
Okay. So say a word, I guess.
Tagalog. Tagalog.
What's that mean?
Um, I speak their language. It's hard for me to pronounce. them.
Can you say a word? What's one word that you know in that language?
Almost like
And what's that mean?
how are you doing?
Oh, oh, look at that. Wait, how many languages you speak?
Um, I can be. I can speak 5 or 6.
Nice. Fluently, or you speak them like in pieces?
Um, some 2 or 3 forward, and the rest in pieces.
Okay, that's more than I know, man. I don't I know Spanish and understand it. I just don't speak it because I sound hella white. I
that's
sound really white.
that's funny hearing that from a black
Well, I'm not black, but yeah.
person.
um, what's something that makes you laugh every time? Either you see it or you hear it.
um, when I when I skipped school, when I saw color speak,
When you saw Carlos, what?
when I saw color speak, I skipped class.
And why is that?
I skipped class because I wanted to see him speak.
Uh Wait, so how did that work? So wait, he would talk, you guys were in different classes, is that what it was?
Yes,
Oh, so whenever he would go speak, you were in another class.
not all the time,
Okay.
but this one time he- there was this conference, and I promised Carlos that I would go to every speech. So I said, you know what? I can make it to class. and I did.
Right. Did you end up getting in trouble for it?
Um, no,
Okay. Well, at least you didn't get in trouble.
and I and you know what I did on my pic?
What's that?
I saw the assignment on the teacher that posted, so they could post it
Uh
in
huh.
the school thing, and
Uh huh.
she was like, Zachary, you couldn't do the assignment that they missed. But I was like, teacher, have you checked the school assignment? And she was like, no. And she was like, surprised that I did. But you missed the class. How did you do it?
Right.
So she said, oh, you said they had to make anything up.
Ah. Okay. Okay. This guy, you got good luck, man. Because I had that been me, I would have probably got expelled, gotten detention, and gotten a butt whooping from my mom.
They, they knew how much I love Clover, so and plus I'm a good kid and I do my classes very well. So they let this one slide.
Got it. Got it. Yeah. I mean, again, I still think that would have been me. I would have gotten a butt whooping at home. I would have gotten expelled or suspended from school because I got the worst luck
You're over
sometimes.
dramatic.
What was that?
You're over dramatic.
I'm just saying. I'm speaking from experience. Um, but yeah, man, that's awesome. That's awesome. Um, I think people got to meet the person today instead of just the story. Sometimes, I think it could be that people hear your story and they just tie you to a story and they kind of like isolate you from being a person. And I think people got to meet you as a person today and hear that you feel very normal things. You feel the very similar things to what everyone else feels. You feel fear. You feel sometimes being upset. You feel um, uh, either being triggered by something or being afraid of something. So um, the great thing is that you have never allowed any of those feelings to hold you back from doing what it is that you do. So I think that's a beautiful thing. I think that's a amazing thing, and I think that's something
I,
that people watching can learn from you.
I learned how to hide it well.
Right. Right. Um, and I think people seeing the real you is way more powerful than inspiration itself, because I think people like to be able to relate to other people. And I think today's, if anything that if there's anything that people got out of today's episode, I think they got that. I think they got the real, unfiltered Zachary, the one who feels like everyone else feels, the one who you know has his fears and has his strengths and has his downfalls as well.
And just so everybody knows that I'm not being racist towards Anthony or anything like that. I just like teasing Anthony.
Yes. No, Zachary is definitely not racist. Zachary is definitely not racist. Uh, Zachary is actually one of the most inclusive people I've ever met. You include everybody. I've seen you include all types of people, races, beliefs, everything. So that's big, man. I like that. I love that you do that. And that's
And,
something that you always found in this platform. For those, if you're new here on this platform, and you're looking for a space to feel vulnerable, to feel like you belong, this is a community that you can get you can feel just that, because Zachary has opened this to a broad range of people, not just a specific color, not just a specific belief system. I think Zachary has opened this up to everyone because he really believes in in unity, and he believes in love and how that changes the world.
Happy 4th of July for people who celebrate the 4th of July this weekend. And thank you to our own services. And also for your Swiftie fans out there, congratulations to Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce for the wedding this weekend. So
That's
yeah.
right. Aren't they getting married in New York?
Yeah.
My wife is dreading her commute to the city because of their wedding and how crazy people are going to be this weekend. Uh, but yeah, man. Um, with that said, yes, happy 4th of July for those celebrating it. I hope that this weekend is a nice and beautiful weekend. You're able to enjoy the fireworks if that's what you do. And uh, if you're watching this, man, and you are looking for a place to feel a bit of hope and you're looking for a place to feel a bit of encouragement, this is this place for you. Go ahead and hit that subscribe button. This is a great
Don't forget,
platform that will constantly feed you nothing but encouragement, motivation, and hope. So tune in again, and as always,
and don't forget to buy my book.
yes, go check out Zachary's new book. He is a new author. Who knows? Maybe he'll be a New York Times top seller at one point.
Uh,
Um,
maybe
but
one,
what was that?
maybe one day we could have um me and my daddy on this podcast. You never
Hey,
know.
you never know. You never know. Hey, Mandami, if you're watching this podcast, just know that you have an invitation from Zachary himself to come on here and have a conversation with us.
All right. Hmm.
All right. So with that said, we'd like to wish you guys all a happy 4th of July. And until next time, we will see you later.
Bye.
Bye bye now.